I better cut that out.
Yeah. Always fun when a phone just slips out of your
Yeah.
pocket and you're like, oh god, don't break. I just got you. Please don't break.
Yeah. Wait 18 to 24 months and then start to break naturally for no reason.
Yeah, yeah. Just start to break
Yeah.
because you can't handle the current operating system
Yeah.
that your the company that made you decided that you needed.
Decided that you needed, and these days they will just force you to update at a certain point. I think I told the story on an earlier Final Fantasy playthrough, but at some point this year, there had been an update to the my phone that I was ignoring for a while because they always wanted me to update at like the worst time, and then when I was home and could just do the update, I could never find the option to do it. And then eventually just forced itself to do it. But it forced itself to do it at like 4:50 in the morning.
While you weren't paying attention?
While I was asleep, and here's the thing. That kind of makes sense. Do it in the middle of the night when people aren't usually going to get up. I get up at 5. My alarm goes off at 5 a.m. But because my phone was updating, my alarm didn't go off.
Oh.
I just happened to wake up. It was dark. It was still winter, right? Like, there's no way of telling what the relative time is. It could have been 1 a.m. It could have been 5 a.m. I woke up, and I saw that my phone was updating. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. But then part of me was like, feeling weird, and so I got up and I walked into the kitchen, and I saw that it was 5:07. I leave the house at 5:15. I'm like, oh!
You probably got ready really quick.
Like 2-minute shower, 3 minutes to get dressed. Just throw everything in my bag and out the door.
You're getting dressed as you're walking out.
Yeah. This is the bomb queen. I love bombs in this one because they're literally like a body wrapped around a bomb.
Yeah.
You can see it inside of them.
I like that.
Yeah. Bombs feel like one of those monsters they've always had the most fun with. Like, it's one of those concepts that I haven't seen that may be genuine. Oh, King Bomb, I guess. It's one of those concepts that may be genuinely original to Final Fantasy. Like, for all the monsters that they've taken from, traditional lore and from D&D directly, like, bombs feel just unique to them. Like, bombs, Marlboros. I know there are a bunch more.
Yeah, it's cool, like, to think about oh, it just spits it out, huh?
Yeah, now that it's dead.
To think about a character, they're like, how do we, like, make it feel like you really need to kill this thing quick?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a ticking time bomb.
Like when you, when you damage it, it gets bigger, and then eventually it explodes.
I need to hurry up and get a case for my phone. I'm like, I have like, Google's phone protection plan is like half as cheap as every other one I've ever seen. It's only $5 a month. So it's like if I do break it, I'm not going to feel too bad. But at the same time, like I don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
And so I'm just super paranoid about it because I just got the thing, and I'm like. Now I'm like freaking out, like looking at it. I'm like, did I damage it? What did I do?
I had that problem with my Samsung Galaxy at first, just because I wasn't used to holding a phone of that size, nor of that, just that slick.
Yeah. That's what the issue with this one is. Like, I want a case for it more than anything, just so I can grip it.
Yeah.
Grip the damn thing.
So this area we're in right now is the Nobrious Deadlands, and it's sort of the end game area of the whole game. The monsters here are higher in level than they are anywhere else. They have more complex abilities. They're in greater number. They're much more dangerous overall. You can come here fairly early, but they explicitly tell you, don't
fucking hang out here.
There's a cutscene right here, which this cutscene, the specifics change depending on what point in the game you first come here, but at any point they're like, hey, maybe we shouldn't fuck around in that place. Maybe that's a bad idea.
Maybe we should send Vaughn in there.
Yeah.
Vaughn, there's a cookie in there.
Oh boy,
a cookie?
Mysterious force. The work of the Midlight Shard.
This? In just 2 years? How?
As the Dawn Shard brought down the Leviathan and her fleet, a fell mist spilled forth. It is like the same
This
thing happened
Rosler, Ash's husband, this was his home kingdom.
The Nethersites
But now it's
has
this.
corrupted the life of this place. It is a necrohall overrun with beasts.
Necrohall! Necrohall!
That sounds
Here on a
cool.
fool's errand.
Necrohol. Fucking.
Is it revenge?
That's a spell. That's a spell glove album. Necro Hall of Napudis.
Yes or no? Not this way lies the capital.
Because it's
The road to our
coming here is
kingdom
kind of
leads east
along
to
the way,
Sneakerwood, beyond the phone
but
post
it's
and
off to the
southbound.
side, and so it's like if you come here, they're like, do you wanna go? This isn't where we're going. Maybe let's not go in there. Where we'll be attacked by like 50 skeletons at once.
Jeez.
It's rough. There's one spot in particular that's fucking rough. Just because of all the skeletons it keeps throwing at you. Granted, at this point I've really exploited the leveling trick, and so my characters are pretty beefy. But even that area is too beef for me. That'd be a good name for a restaurant, Too Beef For You.
Yeah. What would...
Just...
Everything is just like, everybody leaves full, but they're like,
Yeah.
wow, I just couldn't. I can't.
I took it as a challenge and I failed. And there's also a side quest where you have to find a bunch of Moogles in the woods, so they'll fix this gate for you. I'm always torn on bits like this, because they're fun, but they're not necessary. Where it's like, you're making me do side work, but this game is so long that you didn't need to pad it out.
Like, come on, though, we put a lot of work into it.
Yeah. I mean, it's better in this one, because there are no random battles. Like, random battles really make those suck. Because it's like, I'm gonna run around blind and fight just technically an infinite number of battles. In this one, you can very quickly empty out an area of its monsters. And then you have free reign over that screen until you go at least 2 screens over.
Choice. If we'd taken the easy way and come by airship, one of those patrols would no doubt have been quick to roll out the red carpet.
Don't you have an invisible
We're on the
airship?
Empire's doorstep
Yeah.
now, so we shouldn't have to worry quite so much. But that's no excuse to get sloppy. It is still a long road to the capital.
I know how you kids like 'em sloppy.
Balthier, why are you sometimes just like an old gross man? You're only in your 20s. I think Balthier is like 26.
Jeez.
It's like, man, no 26-year-old is that suave
Nope.
or debonair. Not even the royal princes in England, but suave and debonnair. They're all fucked up looking.
They're
bald.
so goof and dumb
Yeah.
looking. Good thing I'm royalty.
Like what the younger one recently. Well, yeah, the
That's
younger
what they
one,
sound like.
basically, yeah, like the younger one recently got engaged. And I'm looking at a photo of him, and I'm like, now I'm very hard on myself, but I'm at least as good looking as that guy. I'm like, what's he got? Oh yeah, he's literally a prince. Like, you can't compete with that.
Yeah. And
it
just don't have to try at that point.
And it compensates for so much. It's like, oh,
compensates for, yeah.
I'm the prince. Oh, hi, prince.
I don't. Yeah. God.
Like a musician? You're hot, so I'm gonna overlook that comment.
Prince is the coolest
Use
prince.
its power to restore Dalmasca.
Or was, yeah.
Coolest prince.
Hopefully, he's still somewhere
Intentions invite the
in
worst
some nether
kind of
realm.
trouble.
Just flying on a giant purple guitar car. I don't know.
I hope he's having an RPG adventure in the afterlife right now. Like, Prince died and then he became a level 1 soul, but he has all of his music power.
Yeah.
And it's like it's like his mortal level of music power is the baseline for
God.
an immortal musician. So he's building up from there.
He's like, where did all my musical prowess
Yeah.
go? And then
You still have it, but now it's like when
Yeah.
Goku died after the Cell Saga, and there's that short little side story where he's in the afterlife, and it's like, yeah, Goku is like super strong Super Saiyan, but he's fighting all these people who have been dead for thousands of years and do nothing but train.
Judge.
And so, like, their level is super high just because they've been doing fucking billions of push-ups. And it's like, whoa, I got all these new
Part
challengers.
of a past I'd rather forget. It didn't last long. I ran. I left the judges. And him.
Oh yeah, he used to be a judge.
Ah.
Yeah.
Sidolphus Demon Bonanza. Draculaur Laboratories' very own Dr. Sid. That's when he lost his heart to Nethicite. Lost himself. And I suppose that's when I lost my father.
Now I just want Prince's Afterlife RPG.
Yeah.
The game. Like
All the other musicians that died recently
Yeah.
they're either party members or
Follow his
NPCs.
footsteps.
That'd be cool. That'd be way cooler than
I ran away.
another game that came out in the past that had a lot of cool music people in it. That was a big disappointment.
Yeah.
And fucked it up for everyone.
Yeah. Making that would be fun, just be an excuse to listen to all this music that like I've been interested in, but have never been able to like just make myself sit down and listen to for various reasons.
All that running, and I got
Fuck.
nowhere.
Yeah, I'm getting an idea. Fuck.
It's time to end this. Cut my ties to the past.
And Dr. Sid is Balthier's dad, so I'm assuming his name is Sid as well.
So many Sids.
Yeah, 3 Sids. The most Sids. You know what people love in Final Fantasy? Sid. Let's give them 3 Sids.
Marriage of convenience. Symbol of the alliance between Nebradia and Delmasca. This is how they see our marriage.
Well, I wasn't expecting that voice.
Yeah.
They do they?
These roles we play. I must admit, I find it wearying.
Oh.
Oh, they love each other.
I will play mine.
I would have no other.
He's got this can around his neck.
Yeah,
It's weird.
well, I was gonna say that's how you know he's a prince, is because he can afford the most grape space.
Yeah.
To make.
But not as much as the king. The king has like gallons of grapes on his pauldrons.
You're too strong for that.
For a long time, everyone thought the king was just a pile of talking grapes.
Until one day they forgot to go to the grocery store to replenish, and so he's able to eat his way through them, and then they saw his face underneath. Like, Your Majesty, why don't we move your grapes over to your pauldron so they don't cover up your face? And he's like, indubitably. Okay, so there's that very notorious weapon in Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Spear.
Yeah.
To where, there are like 12 chests throughout the game. If you open any one of them, you won't be able to get the Zodiac Spear. Originally, one of them is located along this strip. And of course you're going to see this row of treasure chests and be like, yes, look at this. I'm going to open all this treasure, even though most of it's a disappointment. And then, but for this one, they realize how fucking stupid that is, and so they remove the treasure chest requirement for the Zodiac Spear.
Good. Yeah, that is really stupid. That is just, it doesn't make sense in any way. Like, do you really think you're going to get people to replay this game just for that?
Replay this game, or it's one of those things that makes you wonder, like, is that just there to sell strategy guides?
Yeah.
Because then people hear, like, because you, what would happen is you would play this game, and you would see the Zodiac Spear license. Because very powerful weapons, like the Zodiac Spear, Excalibur, etc., they have their own license on the board. And so you know that piece of equipment must exist. And so you would see, like, Zodiac Spear, it costs more than any other weapon. You'd be like, what the hell is that? But then you go through the whole game and you wouldn't find it. And someone at some point would have to at least leaf through a strategy guide. And this having come out in 2006, I mean, GameFAQs was around, you could probably find it, but it wasn't as easy to find stuff at the time. YouTube was only just starting up. You couldn't just find a video on exactly where these are. So even if someone said, oh, there are these chests, you're oh yeah. Whenever you take on a hunt, you get a bill, which gives you a drawing of the monster. This kid just kind of drew this monster that he's after. And it's like, Bill? Question mark?
Not an official bill.
Yeah.
A child made this.
With crayons. But for this one, I feel like they just realized, you know what? There's no point in trying to sell strategy guides anymore. Let's just make the Zodiac Spear something you can actually find.
Where do they stick it?
They moved it from where it was. So it used to be, it's in the Nabudis Deadlands, that area we're just looking at with all the fog. So you can actually get it fairly early in this game, if you're able to make your way through the Deadlands and not get fucking murdered. Originally there was a room in the end of the Deadlands with, I think, 9 treasure chests in it, and 8 of them contain knots of rust, and then one has a Zodiac Spear. But if you have opened any of those chests that you're not supposed to open, the one with the Zodiac Spear just won't be there. Now we went through a mine when we met Niern. There's a side wing to that mine that you can get to later in the game. And I believe there's a chest with like a 1% chance to spawn in one of the rooms in there. And that chest has like I think it has a 10% chance to have the Zodiac Spear.
Huh.
So it's a very small drop percentage, but I do believe it means that you can get multiple Zodiac Spears. It could be that once you have a Zodiac Spear, you can't get another one. That wouldn't surprise me, but I think the case may be that you can get multiple spears. It just would take a long time, unless you got very, very, very lucky. Unless you're one of those people whose luck just always seems to be with you, to where you buy 2 random booster packs in Magic, and it's like, oh look, 2 foil mythics, hooray!
I got the Zodiac Spear the first time, and then I only had to go back 2 more times to get it again.
Yeah.
I thought that was good enough.
If you'd prefer to go knocking on the front gates of the city, be my guest.
But what about once we're inside? Won't the city watch find us? We'll do what we can to blend into the crowd.
Yeah, you guys aren't going to be able to do
Our
that.
faces are not far known.
True, true. You're a princess and we didn't even recognize you.
I noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, they're not going to exactly blend into a crowd, but no one's going to know who they are either, so that's fine. You'll notice a distinct lack of Vaughn in my frontline party.
Yeah.
Like, the other members, they switch around, but Vaughn, nah.
Those, like, traps glowing on the ground.
Yeah, those suck. They're everywhere, and I hate them.
Do you have to get a certain ability to see them, or they always...
Libra. It's basically scan. I mean, they have it in 15 as well, I guess. You get it very early on, fortunately, and I think most, if not all, the jobs have access to it. There's also an accessory you can get, which has Libra on by default. It shows you enemy information, as well as where traps are on the floor.
So big. What?
These are the monsters that kid was drawing on his stupid bill.
They're all just vegetables?
Yeah.
And fruits? Oh, these goofy little dorks.
These fucking Nightmare Before Christmas assholes.
And they all have haste?
Yeah,
They're
they all
like
have haste.
super duper
Yeah.
quick. What is green magics?
Oh, green magic is it's buffs and debuffs. So I think it's stuff like, buffs and debuffs, but not shell and protect. It's stuff like bubble, which doubles your HP, or stuff like oil, which makes an enemy extra weak to fire.
Huh.
There are only a few spells that count as green magic, but they can be pretty useful under certain circumstances. Oh man, this Esper that I just summoned. It's one that you can. You need to go back to that very early dungeon we were in, where there was like the power mechanic, and I was saying there's a whole wing you can go explore later on.
Yeah.
Once you can go back and explore that area, at the end of it, you find this Esper just hanging out, and it's basically death. But fighting it is a son of a bitch, because this game has a lot of abilities that are like level, blank, and then something where if your level is a multiple of that, then you'll be affected by it. So the way to get around the level blank abilities is to have your character's level be a prime number, so that it's not a multiple of anything but itself and 1. It's pretty intense. But this motherfucker has an ability called level prime death.
Oh god.
So it's like, even if you were working around that, like, yeah, I'm fucking prime level, you can't hurt me with anything, it's like, oh no, you're just dead.
Yeah, that was an intense summon.
Yeah. So that does good damage, and I think it inflicts random status ailments as well, because that one's asleep.
Is that, are status ailments pretty easy to inflict in this one?
Some of them are. I don't bother with them too much, simply because you're doing so much trying to maintain your own character sometimes that trying to find the time to inflict abilities on an enemy who may be immune to them just doesn't really work out. And if you put a... Oh, I should probably look at this dumb shit first.
How does that onion one live? I just don't understand. ghost. Thanks a lot.
Going to heaven.
We were just living our little vegetable lives, and
Yeah, you murdered us.
this was our home.
Now just cut to the party going, what the fuck are we doing?
Making a pizza out of
Yeah.
everything. This is delicious. I like that her
Hair did that little bit.
Yeah, as a secondary like animation.
Uh-huh.
That was great.
Yeah. Woo! We killed vegetables. The way God intended. Surprised we can just eat them. Just pick one up and start devouring its head while everyone looks at you.
And then look at another one and go, "You're next,
Yeah.
tomato."
Like Fran just picks one up and she's nibbling at it the way like a rabbit nibbles at something.
She's all like hunched over and like
Her nose is kind of twitching the whole time, and it's kind of adorable, but it's also horrifying because
Yeah.
she is eating a living thing alive. And like they walk in and she's doing that, and they like walk up to her and her head turns towards them like the zombie in Resident Evil. But those weren't the real bosses. Those were just like jobbers.
And then Vaughn is like complaining because he just wants to eat bread and cheese.
Yeah.
And not like good bread and cheese.
No, he wants American craft. This boss that we're fighting right here, I feel like might be one of those connections to the Vagrant Story, because it looks very much like the liches that you fight in Vagrant Story. They have that shape to them where they're just kind of like an elongated cloud, sort of, with, you know, kind of tendrily fingers.
Like Balthier's way he attacks with those spears. He just kind of like, you know, it's not like a big overhead swing. It's
No,
just
he like braces it against his body
and it's
as
like,
a second hand.
It kind of makes sense. I like the little bit of effort he's putting in.
Oh yeah, every character. They did a lot of effort with the characters' animations in this game, because every one of them holds every weapon type differently and swings it differently.
It's like he understood, like, this is just the best way to do this for me.
Yeah.
I can put in as little effort as I want and still get good damage. Sack those fuckers.
Yeah. Of all the optional espers, the Dromelech, the Roth, there might be the easiest to find and the easiest to find and the most likely to accidentally kill you, because you're not expecting there to just be a big boss in the middle of the cavern where you find him. Oh, fuck, does this thing have? Poison, immobilized. Okay, there are some very bad status ailments in this one. Immobilized means you can't move. It's not the worst ability, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
The worst is, what's it called? Disable, where, hey, you can't do anything.
Are there attacks the enemies use in this game where you can, like, literally either walk into them and get hurt or avoid them?
No, and that's something they should have done, because this very much feels like it's inspired by MMOs,
Yeah.
and so it should have been a lot more of, hey, get out of the fire.
Yeah.
Right? This enemy's going, and it often looks like the enemy's going to do something like that, but then it ends up being, oh no, this huge ability just hits the whole room. Or, oh, this boss just, when it attacks, it's gonna turn around to hit whoever it's attacking. So it's not like it's going for a big swing, and as long as you can get out of, like, the frontal cone in front of it, you can avoid it.
That'd be cool.
That would have been great. And I think the complaints about fights in this game would have been lessened if that were the case. Granted, that could prove difficult in some situations, simply because you have AI-controlled partners. I think it would have shoehorned you into making your main character some form of a tank.
Or imagine if you like could hold down a dedicated button, and now you are manually controlling every party member at once. So you could like hold down L2, and then like now you can move them.
Yeah.
You know,
like they're gonna the other party members will just basically group up, and that's all it would need to be. Is like you hold down L2, and the other party members will group up on you.
like you pick a formation that they will snap to when you hold L2, and then you can like make them all like dodge backwards or you know, march forward or something.
Yeah,
and then you release it and they go back to their deal.
And that would be an interesting way to take it if you made something like Bayonetta, but you did give it like the full suite of MMO abilities, so that maybe a character is a tank and I only have 9 seconds, but maybe they have like a big shield and it's like, okay, formation, get right behind me and I'm gonna throw up the shield, and so it'll absorb this blow